Hello, I'm Harry Hobson, President and CEO of Plymouth Harbor. And today I'm joined by three of our teammates, including Summer Wrench, who I think all of you know is our Director of Wellness. Also Curtis Cornell, who is our Director of Dining Services. Both have been frequent visitors on these updates in the past. And in a few moments, I'll let Summer introduce and welcome one of our newer team members. What I'm going to cover over the next few minutes in this update, of course, will be a campus update regarding COVID. We'll also talk about our vaccine clinic activities. We've got two more coming. I'll talk about that for a few moments. And then I know you're all interested in what some of our plans are for more reopening and also expansion of some of the present programs. So my sidekick, Karen, has a day off today, which is unbelievable. Okay, I promised her she would receive days off when she moved into this position 1 year ago tomorrow. So I was down to the wire on that date that she took off. So she took off today. So it kept my commitment to her. So, but she's doing well. She's just taking a day off today. So let me start with the campus update. Currently, we have no residents testing positive for COVID-19. Now, we do have 3 residents under observation, but that's routine post-hospitalization stays. We have 1 team member who has tested positive and another team member under observation due to contact tracing. Both of the team members are from our memory care area here at Plymouth Harbor, and both are in isolation and observation at home respectively, and they're doing quite well, asymptomatic. So that's all good news. Let me move to the vaccine clinic update. I've almost lost count, either 7 or 8 clinics at this point. This past week, we did about 420 more vaccinations, and we have 2 more clinics to go on booster vaccines. Those will take place on March 5th and March 15th, respectively. You know, the good news is that nearly 100% of our residents have received the vaccine. The 1 or 2 who's not received it yet, and that's only because they were in a post-hospitalization phase. But so I could say we're going to be at 100%. We're not where I'd like to be ultimately, but I'm much more satisfied today than I've been in the past regarding our team member vaccination rate. If you remember the statewide average, and that's not moved a whole lot, somewhere around 35% of healthcare related workers have received the vaccine. When we started, once again, we were at 42%. We did do a campaign internally, tried to find out the reasons why people were holding back. We tried to address those the best we could. And that number now is just north of 60%. So, and I thank everyone who has received the vaccine very much for doing that. And as you know, we have about 2 weeks ago revised our hiring procedures here at Plymouth Harbor, and essentially all new team members coming to Plymouth Harbor will have had either the vaccine or committed to taking the vaccine as soon as they become eligible. And that's just to provide a very, very safe environment for all of us here at Plymouth Harbor. Well, Summer, let's talk a little bit about wellness, but also wellness and programming activities. And why don't you go ahead with your introduction, which I think we're all anticipating.
Absolutely. Thank you, Harry. And hello, everyone. It's great to be here with you today. And I'm excited to share that I am joined with our newest colleague, Ann Casanova, who is our programming and activities coordinator here on campus. Ann joined us in late January, and so we were really excited to bring her on board and get started with a lot of new initiatives, but also continue along with some of the old fan favorites. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that in a couple of minutes. But I wanted to first start with some important updates that are coming as we continue to cautiously move into the year 2021. In regards to wellness, everything that I'm about to share with you is in effect as of the date of March 8th. So keep March 8th in mind. We will also be sending a follow-up letter out to all residents next week that outlines everything that I'm going to share. And Harry will, of course, have this information in an upcoming splash as well. So not to fear, there's a lot of important announcements, but certainly going to be some great reminders and helpful information along the way so you don't miss anything. The first big change is going to come with some of our wellness amenity spaces as far as where reservations are still going to be required and where they will no longer be required. Reservations will actually no longer be required for the wellness amenity areas of the art studio, the wood shop, and the indoor spa. And we made this decision with, of course, Harry and Karen's blessing after looking at the historical data over the last several months of how many residents were using these spaces and when, and really seeing that we were not having much overlap. And so we felt very confident that these areas could be a place where you can come and go again as you please. Keep in mind, reservations will still be required for all other wellness amenity areas. So we're just removing them for the wood shop, the art studio, and the indoor spa. The next change that we have is we will be increasing our max capacity for the amenity areas of the outdoor pool and the fitness center. Both of these areas will increase from the previous 10 to 15. So we are adding up to 15 now. Also in regards to max capacity changes will be our group exercise classes. So the in-person group exercise classes will also increase max capacity to 15. That is including the instructor. So it will be 14 residents versus 9 before, for a total of 15 with the instructor. The one exception to that change is our total fitness class. Total fitness is our highest level of exertion. And because of that, we decided that it just wasn't quite the right time yet to increase that class level capacity. So instead, we decided to temporarily add an additional total fitness class option on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, just like the normal class days. But now instead of just one class in the morning, we're also adding an afternoon option. So if you're unable to get into the morning class, there is a second option for you that will go from 12:35 p.m. to 1:35 p.m. It will still be taught by your favorite instructor, Felipe, so not to worry, but we are splitting that class into two in hopes to be able to accommodate anybody that would like to attend. We are also going to be resuming our offerings of one-to-one fitness assessments with our health and fitness specialist. So this is really exciting because we haven't been able to do any assessments in over a year now. And I know we've been hearing a lot from all of you that this is something you have greatly missed and are really feeling is important. And we agree. The last year has unfortunately had a lot of change on our bodies physically, from the difference in exercise that we've been able to do, stress levels, etc. So it's really important, if especially you haven't been down to the wellness center or doing your normal fitness routine, that we take some time to meet with you and do a physical fitness assessment again to ensure that everything you're doing is safe and most appropriate for you. And especially if you have some new goals. It's been a year. I know we're all excited and ready to get back out there, so we want to make sure we're taking care of ourselves and bringing our healthiest form forward. We are also then going to be allowing vaccinated team members back into the fitness center to utilize it for exercise. So it will only be those team members that have received their full set of vaccinated shots, and it is the 2-week period after that final booster. So please know that we will continue to keep all of our other guidelines in place as far as sanitizing, mask wearing, social distancing that we have used over the last several months as well. But you will see some team members again joining you in the fitness center. And then we are also going to be looking at supporting some additional events and gatherings with our programming side. And so I will turn it over to Ann Casanova to share a little tidbit about what is coming up and some exciting things to look forward to.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much for welcoming me so nicely to Plymouth Harbor. I'm really loving it here. We are very excited to continue to bring you more recent virtual programming as we move cautiously into in-person activities. A few upcoming programming partnerships to anticipate include Marie Selby Gardens, Mote Marine Laboratory and Aquarium, and the Perlman Music Program. And we're also exploring small outdoor concerts and performances right here on the Plymouth Harbor campus. In fact, we're in discussion currently with the Sarasota Ballet and the Sarasota Orchestra. And additionally, we're working to partner with our wonderful dining services and communications departments to bring new campus-wide initiatives.
A lot to look forward to there. Thanks so much, Ann. Harry, there's so much happening with wellness and programming. I know it was a lot of information, but like I said, we will have follow-up letters that will be going out, and certainly don't hesitate to give either Ann or myself a phone call if you need some additional clarification. We're here to help, and we look forward to seeing you.
Well, I made a reference to a year ago, and I can remember that so well because a year ago tomorrow was the last face-to-face cafe chat. And it was at that cafe chat is when I announced the promotion, if you will, of Karen going into a new position yet to be fully described. Okay, and it was really going to be our point person on infection control matters. And so it was very easy to define in the months to follow. I don't think any of us really had an idea what this last year was going to do. So we have certainly pulled back on much of our activities. But if you look now 1 year later, there's reason to be optimistic. We have gone through the vaccination process, the boosters and all. So our residents are certainly protected now. And we have gradually been reopening some various things around campus. You've heard this morning with Summer and Ann. So you can begin to feel that momentum. And I think we're all so excited to feel that. You'll hear me say a couple of different times, the success to keeping these programs open is to, as Karen would say, respecting social distances, mask wearing, washing your hands, 6 feet distance on social distancing. So that's very, very important. So I know I can feel it, and I know so many of the residents are starting to feel that, and as well as our team members. I can tell you, Summer, you probably already know this, how excited so many of our team members are to hear that the Wellness Center once again is going to be open to them for all of the team members who, as you said, fully received the vaccine 2 weeks plus a day. So that's excellent. So thank you very much, Summer and Ann. And Ann, you talk about different partnerships, but I also know just on your resume, these aren't first-time touches with these organizations. You've had partnerships in the past and involvement with them. So thank you for bringing that here to Plymouth Harbor, and we're excited to see what's going to come forth over the next few months. Thank you for that. And also, let me just mention too, as you look at the backgrounds of both Ann and Summer, they look almost identical. I can tell you, of course, that's Sarasota Bay, but that's not too far off base for you all, because Summer, as you look out your office window, that is what you see pretty much. So
yes, it is. We're very blessed.
That's a great site. So let me swing over to Curtis, our Director of Dining Services, who we once again find on the balcony of the bistro in the northwest portion of the campus. While that's a virtual background, I can guarantee you that's a real background. And from here, we're looking right over towards St. Armand's Circle. So Curtis, you've got actually a lot to report, and what I've asked Curtis to do for us today is just give us a tease, enough of what's coming. And I know that you've got more detailed information. You'll talk about that. But I've also invited Curtis back to join me on a video update early next week, which will reinforce a lot of the details. So Curtis, let me turn it over to you now.
Well, thank you, Harry. And you mentioned the word excitement a couple of times while you're talking about the wellness program and things that are coming our way. And there's a return of the excitement back in dining services, not only with our staff, but of course, the residents are kind of on the edge of their seats, ready to get back to the Mayflower dining room. And as we're making the plans and doing the training and get everybody back into the motions from our staffing perspective, we also have our last vaccination clinic that's going to happen on March 15th. And then we're going to be opening the doors for lunch service and dinner service starting on March 16th. So we're really excited. The team is so excited to get back in touch with the residents and interact with them and talk to them and share stories. And it's going to basically be a restart from where we left off back in November after we made some adjustments from our initial opening in October. We're going to follow that same general programming, which, will be a limited seating capacity in the Mayflower dining room. We're going to be taking all the precautions that we did prior to us shutting down back in mid-November, with social distancing. We'll have the 7-4 tops again. So we'll have those community tables that we can sit up to 4 people, still adhering to the social distancing guidelines. And we'll only be seating those tables once. We're so excited for this time to be coming along. The service staff is ready to get out of the kitchen, and we'll still be facilitating the delivery orders. Nothing will change there. And the culinary team is ready to get food on plates and making the plate presentation just look incredible. And we've been tinkering in the kitchen. We've got a lot of new items that are coming to our residents' way. For us, it's been great because we get to try a lot of yummy food. So we'll be sending out more detailed information in a dish that's going to be coming out soon that'll outline all that we have going on with dining services in the Mayflower dining room. And, we're really excited that the residents also get back down there and see summer. So make sure you work up a healthy appetite and come see us for lunch and for dinner.
Curtis, thank you very, very much. And while we didn't talk and we don't want to say too much about the bistro, and that's your background there on screen, but I also just shared just enough with our residents that the bistro certainly hasn't been forgotten. What a lovely space that is, and what I can share with you that over the next few months you'll be hearing more about that. I sat down with Curtis, and I know he has sat down with his key team members, and what I said to Curtis was, and you and Chef Mark and Franco and Carlos and others, I said, there's your sandbox. There it is, the bistro. It's a different time now than it's been in the past. It's an important space. We all love it. Bring it to life for us. Do it under the guise of a good business plan. But see what you can do with a totally fresh set of eyes. And certainly there's resident input coming your way on that as well. So we're going to be talking more about that, but we're not quite ready yet. You'll hear more, and I'm pleased with what Curtis has already shared with me. I guess most of all, Curtis, what I like is, and I know your educational background as well, is what you're doing is you're bringing it forth within a business plan. So that's very important. So looking forward to that.
Absolutely.
Okay, this was a lot of information for our residents and families and team members, and that's why I always follow it up with a splash. And the splash may be in your hands by the time you see this video. And if not, you will be receiving it. And there'll be more information in writing coming to you next week. Curtis, I look forward to you joining me again the first of next week for some of those more details. So I think that brings conclusion to this video. So, but it wouldn't be right if I didn't follow it as Karen always does and remind all of us to please respect all of our social distancing, wear our face masks, wash our hands, and please respect that 6 feet distance between each other. We talk about 2 different type of gathering sizes now, the small gathering sizes and the moderate size. And those are very, very important to try to adhere to with all these requirements that we have. This is going to be the success of not only keeping Plymouth Harbor amenities continuing to reopen, but to keep them open. So that brings closure to this. So that means now it's time for me to don my mask. Thank you.